Alyssa McLeod from the corner. And Canada have a set.
All right, that's it for sports, and indeed, that's it for CVM News at 7. I'm Jordan Ford. Thank you so much for having joined us. Stay with us, though. High School Pitchside is up next.
Mammogram can shape your motherhood. The Jamaica Cancer Society, helping women now. Visit the website at jcs.live. Early detection saves lives.
High School Pitchside, brought to you by KFC, Catch, Ping Pong, Water, Powerade, True Shake, Pringles.
Not. They stand. So they decide that they're not playing. So the Chem Hill team, they decide that they're not playing.
Guys, what is happening in schoolboy football? Did you see the madness that happened between Staths and Chem Hill yesterday, Gio?
Yeah, I saw I saw what happened. Clearly, I think the players were protesting because they felt as if they were, the game was not being refereed or officiated in the correct way. I think they felt that there was a penalty that was awarded against them in the first half that they think should not have been awarded. And then in the second half, they thought they should have gotten a penalty that they didn't get. They also got 2 red cards for dissent. One after that first penalty, the Chem Hill keeper got sent off. And then in the 83rd minute, another player got sent off from Chem Hill again for dissent. So they ended the game with 9 men. And that was them there,
frustrating
and protesting. I mean, I do understand if you think that you're being hard in the game, but I do think they should have finished the game. And their coach, Keegan Mitchell, he was also not. I think he was in agreement with them because he walked off. There was a point when they almost literally walked off the pitch because in that shot there, they went off the pitch. I think they were gathered in the center of the circle. Yeah. But there was a moment where they almost walked off the pitch where there was a lady on the Chem Hill team, coaching staff, whatever, telling them, no, go back on the pitch, go back on the pitch. So they went back on and they stood in the center circle. Game eventually got blown off in the 88th minute because they were adamant that they...
Well, for me, Gio, standing at a standstill is pretty much of a statement. Daniel, what do you think?
Yes, it's the same thing that I'm saying, that for this season, the officiating has been questioned because you're now in the second round, so our stakes are high. So we can't afford teams stop playing in the middle of a game where that there's a guarantee because 4 teams in each zone and top 2 goes to the other round. So I'm very disappointed to see this.
From where I stand with this particular game, I can't say that the decisions were correct or incorrect because it was a bit difficult to see. But I guess you probably have a point in terms of the larger officiating in schoolboy football. For this particular game, though, I can't take a stance in this particular game.
So what do you think would be the likely repercussions?
I do think there should be some... Again, this is schoolboy football. So we always mention that schoolboy football is requires a certain level of discipline. I think there should be some amount of disciplinary hearing being done and speaking to the boys and so on. I think they also felt hard on because I guess who they think the principal of. And again, this is a thing that a rumor and a thing that has been going on in schoolboy football for a long time. As a team, you cannot go to a venue and defeat yourself from the get-go. You can't plant in the mind from the get-go that, because I play this particular school, the results is going to go against me because the least thing that happens on the field, you're going to use it as a means to justify your preconceived notions. So you play the game that's on the field, even if you give you a penalty, you suck it up and you go again because who knows, it's 90 minutes.
It's 90 minutes.
You're so right, and Chem Hill still is safe in some respect. They kind of face a similar scenario, losing the first round, still advancing. So they have some hope,
the first game,
and it is a statement. They are making a statement, and it's better early than later.
That's if they're not thrown out, but let's see what happens.
Let's see. It is happening. The football roll call, and 16 teams have answered, marking themselves present in the DaCosta Cup round of 16. Over in the Manning Cup, yes, we're still at that stage as well. The best 16 teams compete in the second round. So, welcome to High School Pitchside, your number one SPF guide. I'm Jenny Robinson, and I'm here by my side with Giovanni Brady and Daniel Bent, the two SPF experts. Gio, we're not seeing any Naldo today. Did you give him a red card or something?
No, I think Naldo is somewhere speaking Spanish right now.
Living his best life, right?
Gracias.
Well, we'll be seeing him next week. It's safe to say that now we're at the serious part of the SBF season, and there is no room for error. Some big teams will be eliminated in the round of 16, and by the zones that I've seen, guys, Manning Cup is about to get nice. So what do you say, Daniel?
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with you.
Yes.
Some big teams would be eliminated. Some probably surprising team will advance to the other round. Then it makes Walker Cup interesting again.
Yes.
And so there's still hope for a team to get the opportunity to win a trophy for the first time, or for the second time, or for the third time.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, beating finalists last year, St. Catherine. I mean, pretty wasteful against Vauxhall yesterday. They should have really won that game 2-0, missing chances on the goal line.
And they look pretty frustrated.
Who wouldn't be after missing so many chances? But Vauxhall getting a very good point there. Kyle Butler continuing that very impressive season for Vauxhall so far. And then we have JC, who they drew with
Eltham.
Yeah.
Interesting game.
Eltham, a very combative team. So those are two quote-unquote top that. KC also lost.
Yes,
And the interesting point about that game is that his former assistant Alex Thomas beat him.
Really?
This is Alex Thomas' first season at Heidel, and he worked with Vauxhall Runners when they were both at Woolmers.
Okay.
Almost like a father-son beating
added
father.
narrative, added story. So
Exactly.
as you mentioned, big teams are at the sword.
Yes, the Manning Cup is continuing, and Excelsior continued their unbeaten run, dismissing Woolmers 3-1 in Group 1. Defending champions Kingston College, with their unbeaten run, it was ended with a 1-0 loss to Heidel in Group 2. And when we look at Calabar, they are early leaders in Group 2 as they blanked Campion with a scoreline of 4-1. Over in Group 3, Charlie Smith upset St. George's College 4-2 to early lead that group, and Mona claimed 3 points in Group 4, beating St. Jago 4-1, while Eltham railed to draw 2-2 to Jamaica College. On CVM TV, we witnessed a doubleheader on Wednesday. Well, last year's unbeaten finalists St. Catherine High played Vauxhall in Group 3, and here are the highlights.
Nice move by Vauxhall, and it was Chadwick McLeod who couldn't get the shot to beat the goalkeeper, and this one was another shot from Ronaldo Stewart, just wide though. Great opportunities. Again, another opportunities. This time Young himself was on the end of it, just couldn't keep it down. Speaking of Young, it's a really good save though from Coke of Vauxhall, as Young tried to burst through the scenes. And he was much more involved in the second half. Young, that's him again, playing that ball across the face. And again, it was Marlon Jones who did not make connection with it. Young saw that effort, blocked off the line, after the goalkeeper was really in no man's land, and then picked himself up to block the rebounded shot that came in from Stewart. At this stage, it was all St. Catherine High creating all the chances. Acrobatic skies it. Comes back to St. Catherine though. There's Young, finds a teammate in Aiken. Almost outsmarting himself there. Stumbles, and now St. Catherine can come the other way. Here's an opportunity for St. Catherine High from the right side. Ball played across the face of goal, and a fresh air.
A share of points for both teams as they trail leaders Charlie Smith in Group 3. And guys, when we're looking at the football so far, we can see that even the big teams are getting frustrated from the second round. What do you guys say?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I think Catherine really should have pulled away and won that game. Missing a lot of chances. You saw in the replay the chance that they missed on the goal line. I think it's still early days in the group though. I think there's a lot that they can still do. I think they're in the same group as St. Andrews College.
Yeah.
Charlie Smith. Oh, St. George's College and Charlie Smith. Yeah. Okay.
They're leading the group, Charlie Smith.
Yeah, and we saw Charlie Smith beating St. George's College. St. George's College are having their best season so far. So I think it was never my expectation that they would probably make it to the quarterfinals. That's a hot take. But still a lot for St. Catherine to do. And a school like Vauxhall, even if they don't go through this group, they'll be in the World Cup, as you mentioned earlier. And that's still a big achievement for them.
And their program this year.
Yeah, and a step forward in the program this year.
And I'm very impressed with how Charlie Smith has been going about their business.
Yes.
They have been under the radar, really.
They're in the same group as KC earlier.
Yeah, Kingston College and Ida Selassie. Yes. And I'm very impressed with the unit that they would have assembled for this season. As you know, over the years, Charlie Smith has been one of those teams that have been very, very consistent, from Jeremy Waite, Hira, come all the way to Eugene Williams. So it's thumbs up for Charlie Smith.
Yes, definitely. Meanwhile, Tivoli Gardens and St. Andrew Technical faced off in Group 1. Staths coming out 1-0 winners to move to 3 points and level with Excelsior. Do you believe that this was a well-deserved win, boys?
Yeah, I watched the game and I thought Staths played pretty good football, and I think it's something that you expect from Staths long term. This is a team that has consistently played to that level, played to that standard. I think probably they could have won by more than one goal, created a lot of good situations. They started the game very intense, you know, passing the ball, moving it, attacking down both sides of the flanks and so on. Had very good chances, you know, Tivoli Gardens custodian got called into action on numerous occasions. But again, just coming up with a 1-0 win. And I think we're seeing where the quote-unquote smaller teams, even though Tivoli won the World Cup a few years ago, and has a good program, but the quote-unquote smaller teams are very resolute, resilient, and holding their own against the bigger teams. And Staths was once a smaller team, so there's always hope.
I'm glad you brought that up, because pre-match, when I got the chance to talk to Philip Williams and I think Coach DaCosta from Tivoli, Philip was, I think because he's been with these boys for a while, now it's kind of seasoned with his philosophy. They understand, you know, it's just, you know, a lot more chemistry, and I think we're seeing that being displayed on the field. On the other hand, Tivoli, yes, you mentioned them going to the Walker Cup in past years, but they are also pretty confident in the boys that they have, because they've had them for some time as well. So
I think they made a run to the Manning Cup quarterfinals. And lost to JC. Was it last year? I think, or year before? I don't remember. But yeah, so Tivoli is a program that has had success, as you mentioned.
I think overall for the second round, when big teams are facing big teams, I think the conversion rate and scoring their chances is what really going to separate the big boys from the little boys in this era, this segment of football. That's what I think.
Well, there you've had it, guys. Break time on High School Pitchside, and when we return, we'll discuss the groups in the Manning Cup.
I know you weren't expecting to see me here. Now you can find your favorite chicken and snacks in the same place. It's true. Come on in.
Introducing the delicious combination of KFC fried chicken and Doritos nacho cheese. The KFC Doritos Zinger, a crunch that's finger-licking good.
Where it all begins. The quest to become great. Inspired by those who went before them, these four boys dream of playing in the ISSA schoolboy football competitions.
Will you score this for Casey? Will you score? It's a shot, it's a goal!
And it's a shot, and it's a goal! And Casey has won the Manning Cup and they will play Clarendon College in the Olivia Shield.
Welcome back to High School Pitchside, and now is the time when we're going to look at the 4 groups in the second round of the Manning Cup. Now I want to start with what is arguably the group of death, Group 4, and this consists of Eltham, Jamaica College, Mona and St. Jago. Remember, only 2 teams advance from each group into the last 8, and that makes this group even more difficult given that all 4 teams came through with very good form. Guys, your thoughts on this?
So I think St. Jago, and I think probably Daniel can speak a lot to St. Jago, but they started the season very well. Got some good results. I remember that first game they played against St. George's College, where they won. George should have really won that game, but St. Jago came out on top. But I think as the season progressed, though, had some ties with Excelsior, some other games, they really kind of fell off a bit. Probably ending the group not as strong as they started.
Yeah, I must agree.
Yeah, to see their result yesterday was what, 4-1 against
Mona.
Against Mona, yeah. I was not shocked. Mona being a very good unit, starting very good. They've had
niggles,
even though I guess the management would not like to hear that, but they've had niggles.
Yes,
but they have generally been dominant. Sean Layton there being a very one of the standout players in the DaCosta Cup so far. So Manning Cup. Manning Cup so far. So I do expect them to go through. Probably not so much St. Jago.
I was speaking. Let me just speak about St. Jago because I spoke to Giovanni Codlin, who's a coach. He said that he basically would have probably like 14 quality players. So if for any reason they get injured, he will be worried, and there's a lot of younger players on the bench. So his squad is not as deep,
and gives a lot of context
compared to a Mona High School, compared to a Jamaica College. So there's a squad depth is what will come into play in this round.
Well, here are the full zones for the Manning Cup second round. In Group 1, we have Excelsior, Staths, Tivoli Gardens and Wolmer's. Ronaldo, I don't know if you're going to come into that group, but let's see. Group 2 consists of Group 2 consists of Calabar, Campion, Heidel and KC. Another interesting group. Group 3, Charlie Smith, St. Catherine, St. George's College and Vauxhall, and we saw a bit of that yesterday on CVM TV. And in Group 4, Eltham, Jamaica College, Mona and St. Jago High. So quickly guys, pick your top 2 from each group.
That's easy.
I think
it's easy.
I think I won't say it's easy. I think probably we need to go through the groups again.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think from Group 4 that we mentioned earlier, definitely I'm looking at Charlie Smith. Sorry, Daniel, go first. Let me get my thoughts. Daniel.
Okay, Daniel.
So I would say sticking to my school, Mona and JC going through.
Okay.
Yes. What's the other group?
Group 3. I think Group 3 was St. Catherine, Vauxhall, St. George's College and Tivoli.
Catherine, Vauxhall, St. George's College.
So Catherine, Vauxhall, Charles Smith, St. George's College.
Yeah, St. George's College.
That's a tough one. I think St. Catherine will go through, but who goes through with them is going to be very tight between Charlie Smith and Vauxhall.
Actually, guys, I'm going to just be the devil's advocate
as well.
I think Vauxhall will go through.
Yes.
Yeah.
You think Vauxhall will go through?
Yeah, I think they're...
People who are new converted Vauxhall supporter here on TV.
Nobody said any of that.
I think that Vauxhall Charlie Smith game is going to be very, very interesting.
Yes.
2 teams that I guess the uninitiated have not followed closely to see what they perform like against each other, to see what their quality is like. If George's were to go through, it definitely would not surprise anybody because it's St. George's College over British Bay. But I'm really looking forward to that Vauxhall Charlie Smith game.
Yes, and even Group 2, I think KC and Heidel will go through.
KC and Heidel?
That's very
even after Eltham.
Guys, okay, I'm in a little spot. Okay, let's put it like this. You're gonna have to.
There's no wrong answers. These are predictions.
These are predictions, guys. And don't put me. Don't put it across, and but you're gonna have to see it happen on CVM TV. But for now, it's break time on High School Pitchside, and when we return, we'll talk all things DaCosta Cup.
Hi, I know you weren't expecting to see me here. Now you can find your favorite chicken and snacks in the same place. It's true. Come on in.
Introducing the delicious combination of KFC fried chicken and Doritos nacho cheese. The KFC Doritos Zinger, a crunch that's finger-licking good.
Every dream conquered is another dream game. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction. 'Cause I'm closer, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard. And the music is to play, and the people that must say we are my show tonight. Oh, what a feeling! Don't stop dreaming. Keep on believing in the power of the feeling. Whatever you want, take a chance. Song in your heart, step in your dance. You got a spark, don't fit the dark, shine your lights on.
Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Odyssey with Yendi, brought to you by Grace, Singer, and Islandnet Services.
And we're back on high school Pitchside as we turn to the DaCosta Cup. Cornwall College take the lead in Zone 1 as they thumped St. James rivals. Maldon 6-1. Christiana High are in second with a 3-0 beating of William Nib. And in Zone 2, we look at St. Elizabeth Technical, who continue their winning run, opening with a 4-0 score over Chem Hill. The other group game saw Ocherias High stop Old Harbour High 1-0 to go to second. And in Group 3, Glenmuir made a perfect start to this tough zone, clipping Magati 1-0. Defending champions Gary Maceo and Clarendon College ended scoreless. In Zone 4, high-flying Manchester High suffered their first loss of the season, McGrath inflicting a 2-0 defeat. Mannings also tasted defeat for the first time this season, Dintil winning 2-1 in that encounter. And guys, when I'm looking at this DaCosta Cup table, this McGrath Manchester High goal is the one that stands out to me, because the last time we saw Manchester play, I remember, what was it, the last game? Glenmuir. 2-2. That was impressive Manchester High. They also came back into the game. Yes. So I'm not expecting to see this scoreline at all. But as for now, this is what DaCosta Cup is saying.
I think it's the first game that Manchester High would have not scored. Game. So that is very interesting. That's why I'm thinking, looking at the game, I got the chances to see bits and pieces of the game. Manchester created chances, but as we were saying, Gio, even with the Money Cup review, that if you don't score your chances, you won't win. And McGrath really got early, getting going early in the first opening minutes. And they just basically solidified themselves in the game and scored another one. And basically, Manchester was basically out of the game.
Ironically, Manchester High is the one that they got the trophy for the most goals in the first round. So, what is it that went wrong in this McGrath game?
All right, so just to give some context. So, yes, Manchester got the trophy for most goals in the first round. But if we look in the second group, in the second round, rather, Glenmuir on a 32. Glenmuir were by far the largest score. I think Manchester probably scored like a total of
about 16 goals.
No man, Manchester scored about 8 goals in the second round. That's the group that just finished, and Glenmuir scored probably like closer to 16 goals.
Yeah.
So you can see as probably the groups progress, I don't know if it's a nerve thing or if it's a quality thing, that probably Manchester is not sustaining that same level of goal scoring dominance. And then we come to here now in the third round where they've drawn a blank completely against McGrath. This is a McGrath team that went to the finals last year. So this is the competition, the toughest test you could probably get outside of the defending champions, Garvey Massey, if you want to look at it from that perspective.
And I don't know if you remember a couple of weeks back when we spoke to Coach Donovan Ducky, he was talking about these stages of the competition where it gets a bit harder for Manchester High just to show their quality or just to keep up the run that they've made.
They could have really scored goals there, no? So 2-0 is not a damning result.
It's a true reflection of the game.
End of the world.
But still, it's kind of a little alarming considering what we
and goals win games. They need goals and points on the board to go through. So Manchester has to pick up from this point.
Definitely. Well, these are really some tough zones, and I particularly I'm interested in Zone 3. And when we take a look at the DaCosta Cup, zones 3 Clarendon teams, 2 former champions, and the defending champions are in this zone. It's Clarendon College, Garvey Maceo, and Glenmuir, along with Magotty. So this is my group of death.
Okay.
Glenmuir already out in front with their win over Magotty. And guys, just like the Manning Cup, the DaCosta Cup has some tough zones as well.
Yeah, I think Glenmuir won that Magotty game 1-0. The pitch was a lot of water on the pitch, so that was something that
and it might affect them a little bit because the season we're in.
A lot of water on the pitch, and I think it was at Glenmuir's place as well. Magotty playing very good football, but Glenmuir just edging out that 1-0 win. Clarendon College, Garvey Maceo. What do you think about 3 Clarendon teams being in the same group? What are the odds of that?
I think the parish is well represented. That's what I would say. And I mean, it's going to be difficult for Clarendon College, because if I was to pick 2 teams to go to the other round, I would say Garvey Maceo for sure, and definitely Glenmuir. Magotty and Clarendon, I don't think they have the depth in quality, especially in the front 3. I don't think that they have the tools as yet to progress and to really challenge for trophies at this moment.
We speak about our Manchester teams all the time. We brought up Manchester High School. But I want to give kudos to my other team there in Zone 1, Christiana High.
Yes.
A team that started well. That's doing very well. They won their first game against
William Knibb.
A team that made a run to the quarterfinals around 2 years ago, and have found themselves back in the quarterfinals again. So that does show a level of consistency.
And Dwight Jeremiah had William Knibb.
Yeah,
and he's produced a lot of talent.
That's a good team, William Knibb. That's a very good team, William Knibb, with a high turnover. Dwight Jeremiah, quality coach. So for Christian to go there and eke out a 1-0 victory.
Call Dwight and ask him what
happened. So I'm going to give my kudos to Christiana, who look very well set in that group.
Another result that kind of, in my mind, is very interesting, that Ocherius also have not lost. Although they won the game 1-0, they're the team that I said that I believe is one of the dark horses, who's coached by Veron Peter King, who went all the way to the semi-finals last year in the DaCosta Cup. So, person should be
if you looked at Ocherius over the years, I kind of agree with those sentiments. Ocherius has, I wouldn't say drastic improvement, but every year you will see it's very consistent and steady.
If you go to the semi-finals, are you a dark horse?
As in... Well, 2 teams advance, 1 big team guaranteed to miss out on the spot. Glenmuir and Garvey set to meet for the 3rd time this season, both teams with a win apiece in the last 2 meetings. Can Magotty upset the group? Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
This is Watch the Weather Hurricane Tips. We are in the Atlantic hurricane season. For a couple days back to back, we have experienced heavy rainfall, which resulted in flooding across the Montego Bay and Kingston areas. This should be a clear indicator that we ought to be prepared. Replace or stock up on emergency supplies, for example, batteries for radios and flashlights, kerosene lamps, kerosene oil, and matches paired with candles. Having a generator as a backup is always a great idea. Ensure the generator is outside and is 20 feet away from windows and doors to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning. Prepare first aid kits. These are important. If you have never had an emergency kit in your home, hurricane season is the perfect time to ensure you have this prepared to manage injuries, illnesses, or any other emergencies. Painkillers are a must-have. Benadryl, any prescribed medications for medical conditions, ensure you fill them as soon as a hurricane watch is announced. If medicines needs to be refrigerated, fret not. Ice in an igloo will do the trick. Non-perishable food items is a must-have. During Hurricane Beryl, we all saw the rush in meat shops. People, it's not advisable to buy raw meat during a hurricane. Power outage is usually expected. Anything can happen where restoration of power outage is concerned. People, especially in the rural areas, might be out of electricity for a few days. I'm Giselle Mills, and those were your hurricane tips. Be safe and see you next Monday.
Watch the Weather is brought to you by
Farco, tough solutions for tough problems.
Start your journey with a Jane Bank Small Business Loan with small business loans with as little as $10,000 and up to $4 million.
The time is 8:30.
We're back on high school pitchside with the round of 16 in both the Manning and DaCosta Cup in full flight. We have a breakdown of the top teams in both competitions with our prediction guru, Leger Williams, and our schoolboy football commentator as he joins us on Zoom. He'll provide us with the power rankings for this season. So Leger, we hear that on our live matches, breaking down the plays, well, we hear you breaking down the plays and the stats. What are your thoughts on what you've seen so far in both the Manning and the DaCosta Cup?
Yeah, I think it's been a very good season so far. I think on both sides, it's been very exciting, very unpredictable. I guess that's why I'm here to try and give some predictions, but with the DaCosta Cup especially, I think it's really hard to call. Manning Cup, it's a usual favourites, but at the same time, there's always a little bit of flavour sprinkled in. So it's been a very good season so far, very exciting.
Let's look at how you've ranked the DaCosta Cup. Glenmuir, Garvey Maceo, Manchester and Staths and Ocherius. Talk to us about what this ranking means for you, your power ranking, I should say.
As I said, it's a little bit unpredictable over in the DaCosta Cup, but I think when you go from 1 to 5, I think this is my from likeliest to least likeliest to lift the DaCosta Cup. As I say, it's very hard to call. Very, very hard to call. But starting from 5, I think Ocherius, they made it to the semi-final last season. I still think they're very strong. They have a lot of talent. But when you think about Ocherius, what they did very well is surprise teams on the break with a lot of attacking talent. One thing that they probably need to sharpen up on this season would be to find again that reliable goal scorer to continue pushing them through the rounds. I think defensively they're one of the best units so far in the DaCosta Cup. They're still keeping clean sheets even now in the round of 16. So I think just finding that reliable goal scorer again, that will be their way to possibly lifting the DaCosta Cup. In 4th, yeah?
No, continue.
In 4th, I have Staths. I think Staths are a growing team. They won the Ben Francis Cup last season for the 7th time. I think they have a lot of attacking talent. But one thing with Staths, if you notice over the last couple of seasons, they get a lot of home games. They tend to do very well in those home games. I think even though they went to the National Stadium last season and defeated Clarendon College, it's all about trying to maximize their away potential. At home, they do excellently. I think away from home, they don't do as well. So they'll have to go away from home and do well if they're going to go all the way in the competition. 3rd, I have Manchester. Now, Manchester broke records in the first round. They were scoring goals for fun, 70 plus. It was quite a marvel to see Javante Gordon doing amazing things. But in the round of 16, they've gotten there. They drew 12 with Glenmuir first in the round of 32. Round of 16, they got there and they suffered their first loss. And people might say, okay, they lost to McGrath, who went to the final last season. How can they rebound from that? Should I even have them this high? But because of what we've seen so far, yes, people might say it was against inferior opposition or schools with smaller programs. At the end of the day, you can't really deny that attacking talent. But at the same time, they need to focus on more midfield control. I think they need to settle the play a bit more. They need to try and find a way to stop being so transition heavy. So their players aren't doing as much running and their games don't turn into tennis games. It's football we're playing at the end of the day. So they need to find a way to set the play a bit more against the teams that they should be better than. and find more advantageous ways of getting their best players involved in play. Second, I have Garvey Maceo. Garvey Maceo, obviously defending champions. They did great things. When it comes on to their tactical side of the game, I think they're right up there in all of schoolboy football. They have a lot of talent. They've added talent as well. But one thing I've noticed with Garvey Maceo is that they also don't have a true goal scorer. They have very talented players, including Omarion O'Brien, who's doing excellently this season.
Yes.
But they have something I would say that offsets their quote-unquote lack of a true goal scorer, and that is their set pieces.
Yeah.
They're the best set piece team in schoolboy football, and as an Arsenal fan, people might say it might not be the best way to win, but at the end of the day, you can almost see those set pieces as an extra attacker, as a scorer for them. So they've been executing set pieces very well. In their comeback win against Glenmuir in the first round, they have to play Glenmuir again in the round of 16. They were 2-0 down, and through 3 set pieces, they managed to win that game 3-2. So Garvey Maceo are a threat, but I think from open play, they need to be a little bit more dangerous. But number one for me, and I've been saying this for 2 seasons now, they've yet to do it. So hopefully this season for them, and for my prediction, guru status, Glenmuir can finally get it done. Because I think overall they're the best team in schoolboy football and have been for the past couple of seasons now. Their talent and their tactical ability, their coaching, everything. They're just the most well-rounded team. They have so much talent all across the pitch. Orain Watson has been scoring goals for fun yet again. And I think this is the final form of him in terms of his schoolboy football development. He's a much more complete player. He's dropping deep, he's linking play, getting assists. His passing has improved a lot, and he hasn't lost anything from the goal scoring side. So I think Glenmuir are complete, but one thing that they are missing is midfield control. And if you know me, Jenny, you've known me for quite some time now. You need to control the midfield a bit better. That's very important to me.
Lige,
yeah?
I know you have a lot to say about this Glenmuir team, right? But if we're going to look at their performance, especially ending the first round and starting the second round, do you still share those same sentiments, or do you think that they have a lot of areas that they need to work on?
Yeah, I still share the sentiments. As I said, they're the most complete team in schoolboy football to me. When you look from back to front, they have a national goalkeeper. They have defenders who have been called up to national programs. Midfield is where I think they need to sort out. That would be the
concern,
the biggest issue for me. They lost Jason White, who I thought was the best holding midfielder in schoolboy football last season, maybe for the past couple of seasons. And you know that's a big loss. And if you notice, Glenmuir in big games this season, I just mentioned that they gave up a 2-goal lead to Garvey Maceo. They also gave up a 2-goal lead to Manchester in the round of 32.
So then, Leger,
that's a big problem.
So then, Leger, seeing that you've said all of these things, who do you think will be going to the final with Glenmuir?
That's a tough one. That's really a tough one. I mean, I can't discount Garvey. They'll have to play Garvey again pretty soon. I might go for a little bit of a surprise. I might say Staths. I feel like Staths have enough talent and have enough know-how, especially winning the Ben Francis Cup last season for the 7th time, tying Glenmuir, as a matter of fact. I think Staths, even though I have them 4th on the list, they can rise. Remember, it's a power ranking. The power ranking is not fixed. Teams can go up, teams can go down. So for right now, I have Staths 4th to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Staths Glenmuir final.
Well, thank you, Leger. We're going to go to a break, but you're going to stick and stay with us because he'll be around and we'll be talking about his power rankings in the Manning Cup.
me. What a catch, so tasty. What a catch, with a caramel center. What a catch, and so much chocolate. Ooh yeah, yeah, yeah. First it's crispy, then it's creamy, with so much chocolate, smooth and milky. And when you go a little deeper, you find caramel. Ooh yeah, yeah, yeah. What a catch, oh, 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 oh. What a catch, you know we love you. What a catch, oh, 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 oh. First it's crispy, then it's creamy. What a catch.
Welcome back to High School Pitchside, and Leger is still here with us to talk about his Manning Cup power rankings. So let's have a look at his top 5 teams. Kingston College in first, Jamaica College following, St. Catherine High, Excelsior in 4th. I'm surprised to see that in 4th, and St. Andrew Technical. Leger, talk to me about your ranking for this one, especially why you have Excelsior in 4th.
Well, I think when it comes down to this ranking, it was a little bit, I won't say more difficult than the DaCosta Cup, but it was difficult because Mona were right there for me. It was either them or Staths and Excelsior all in like a group. But I decided to go with Staths and Excelsior 5th and 4th. Staths, I think they're Staths. You know, they're always in and around it. They're always a difficult team to play against. Philip Williams, very experienced. They need to sort out a couple of things. I think they need to find a talisman, a player that can drag them through games. We saw yesterday Shankina Grant do it, get them a win against Tivoli in the round of 16, but it remains to be seen if he can continue to do that. With Excelsior, you said you were a bit surprised. I think Excelsior have been one of the best teams in schoolboy football, well, at least the Manning Cup, the past 2 seasons now. A bit unfortunate last season, you know, injuries made them tail off a bit. But I think when you speak about Excelsior's attacking talent, especially Kimarley Scott, who was the Manning Cup's leading goal scorer last season, Damarley Williams, a national under-17 representative, Kivan Saman, who has JPL experience with Arnett. Those are 3 of the best attackers in schoolboy football, and they have talent elsewhere as well, including central defenders who are with the national under-17 program now. So Excelsior is a very talented team. They are a team that can cause a lot of problems, a very physical team, very technically adept as well, so, and very good, well coached as well with Kean Broderick. So Excelsior, I think, are a very good team, but they need to work, I would say, on getting the ball to their attackers a bit more effectively. That's a big tactical discussion that we probably don't have time for, but I'll summarize it with that. St. Catherine, number 3, last season's beaten finalists. I think they're there, but they just have a small tweak. When they play against teams, they're a very transition-heavy team. And pardon the analogy, but Anandi Iraola is the head coach for Bournemouth in the English Premier League. He was once asked why his teams don't score as many goals as the chances they create. And he said it pretty simply. He said the players are tired because they play this transition-heavy, high-pressing system, similar to St. Catherine. And Jenny, you're an athlete. You know that when you're tired, you aren't clear of mind. So when St. Catherine players get in these positions, often we see them miss a lot of chances that they create. That's something I think they need to work on, getting more control, slowing play down, and they'll be able to finish their chances and put away teams more effectively. The top 2, it's a bit boring, but it's something we've grown to expect. JC and KC, I've given KC the edge over JC, but as I said, power ranking, it can move up and down.
Well, Jay, I'm joined by Giovanni and Daniel, and they have a couple questions that they want to ask you based off of your power rankings.
Jay, looking at your power rankings so far, as a fellow Arsenal fan, I don't want to ever question the status as a prediction guru. However, I realize in the Costa Cup, you never had McGrath, and in the Manning Cup, you did not have Mona. A lot of people like Mona. I won't tell you my personal thoughts on Mona, but a lot of people like Mona. Big school. So see, now we're talking about the Manning Cup now. Why no Mona in the top 5?
I think that Mona as a team, they have weaknesses. They aren't as complete as prior seasons when they won the Walker Cup last season or the Manning Cup the season before that. The reason why Mona have been performing at such a high level, one, is because they're very well drilled and coached. All of these players play together. But also, in my opinion, they have borderline the best player in the competition, the leading goal scorer so far in Sean Layton. So is that going to be enough for them to go all the way? Possibly. Is that going to be enough for them to be in the score rankings right now? I don't think so.
But they're also unbeaten so far. So, as in, that doesn't give you any sort of oomph to push them into that top 5?
As I said, it was in my thoughts.
Okay,
they're not even 6. They're 5.5 right now.
All right.
Someone are very close to the top 5.
If we do these power rankings next week, they could push so high.
Probably change.
Exactly.
And just briefly, why no McGrath in the DaCosta Cup? I know we're in Manning Cup, but just briefly, because we already passed that part. But why no McGrath?
I think they lost their talisman from last season. I think that they're still a very well coached team with Jermaine Thomas. They got a win over Manchester.
Yeah, they beat that team in their top 5.
Yeah, but they've also shown weakness from before in the competition. So the DaCosta Cup is also very hard to really match up. But I think that McGrath, although a very good team, I still don't think that they have everything to go all the way in the DaCosta Cup this season.
Okay.
Yeah, DJ, I'd just like to ask you what about Calabar? Calabar is still one of the, we have only lost once, which is against Mona High School, and they won yesterday. Have you seen enough to say that Calabar might have a sneaking chance to win?
To win the Manning Cup, possibly no. I'm wondering if you brought up Calabar because I'm wearing green, or my alma mater champion. But besides the point, what I will say though, Calabar are a team that crossed my mind. However, I'm still a little bit, on the fence with them. Also, I will say though, they're an extremely well coached team. They have one of the most, I would say, diverse tactical setups so far I've seen in all of schoolboy football. What they do with their double false nines, wingers pushing high to get them in advantageous areas. I really love it, but I'm still on the fence with them.
Well, thank you, Leger, for joining us, and I'll be seeing you on match day. But it's up next. My favorite time, probably your favorite time of the show. It's the debate, and it will be against Giovanni against Daniel Bent. See you.
Protecting Jamaica's borders is a key priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. The JCA will remain vigilant and resolute in effectively fulfilling this mandate. The time, brought to you by the Jamaica Customs Agency, is...
We want a piece for Jamaica. Yeah. Yo, what are you? Oh man, no, brother, no, man.
Can I see you ever play ref? No, take game,
yeah, but I look a bad game. No, I said, place when you come from, brother, I want to live good, man. I want to live good, Bridging. No shake on, I can play a little bad, Bridging.
Really have to shake on?
Yeah, man, and no badness, Bridging. Just live good, man. Come together as one and make the violence done.
Thanks for staying with us on High School Pitchside. We move over to the debate. This week, Daniel and Gio will go at it. Is schoolboy football missing a star name this season? And here's the context, guys. With the likes of Kaim Dixon and Dejon Whisper Richards being crowd favorites a few seasons ago, can we say that we are missing, or is there a few players that now we feel fill venues just like them? And who am I going to start with this week? Gio. Okay, your 1 minute begins now.
All right, so repeat the question. Are there any star players?
Are there any star players that we can see in schoolboy football this season?
I think there are star players in schoolboy football this season. I think probably not. All right, so we have to always start with Whisper. Not of the name of a Whisper, but they are star players. And who comes to mind is another Phoenix product. DJ mentioned earlier. I mentioned earlier Sean Layton at Mona. Leading goal scorer for Mona. A big part of the reason why Mona is as far as they are right now. So very standout player. A player like Kimberly Scott at Excelsior, who has been there for a long time and is not the prime of his power. DJ also mentioned Doreen Watson, a player that is scoring goals for fun and is probably at the peak of his schoolboy football career at Glenmore. So they are star players in the competition. We have to remember that sometimes we look back and we say, oh, Dujon, we can't believe that Dujon Whisper Richards. But remember at the start of that season, not everyone knew who Dujon Whisper Richards was. As the season progressed, those performances against Mona, who was coached by his... my God. I need more time.
He was just getting to it. But Daniel, your 1 minute begins right now.
But for the first time, I want to agree with Gio. So yes, schoolboy football is missing a massive crowd bringer. As you mentioned, that Kaim Dixon Whisper, they brought houses on fire, stadiums on fire. They filled venues. And if we were to even go back to the 2010, the Triple Crown team with JC, Ashani Walker was a crowd favorite. In 2009, Marvin Missaman Morgan of St. George's College. A lot of persons went out to watch him. Yes, you have some normal persons, Leighton, as you mentioned, but yeah, without these so-called star players, yeah, it's a bit lacking. But I guess in probably next season we probably might see somebody that can bring the house on fire.
Disagree with me?
No, I try to agree with you for the first time.
Wait, that's not how the debate goes. Time. Okay.
Can I rebut?
No. Let me ask my producer, do we have any rebuttals? Okay, yes, you can rebut.
Okay, so the one thing I was going to say to end my point was, I remember now, we're looking back at these players after seeing what they would have done.
He's not rebutting, he's ending the point.
So we're looking back at a Whisper after what Whisper would have done and say, oh, that big player. But remember, Whisper had to build his name that season, throughout the course of that season, with the narrative and the story of that season. So I'm expecting the likes of Leighton, if Mona makes it far into competition, if he can have a performance like that Whisper had against Clarendon College, then we say, yo, this ball is a ball I need to go to and see some of the standout players in Manning Cup.
And
okay, well, guys, I'm going to, yes, Daniel.
Jamon Lyle and Jabari Howell also comes to mind as it relates to star quality. There are players that, especially Lyle, at his age, is talked about a lot. Jabari has grown over the years. So those three, gang of three, and gang of four.
But the big question is, guys, do they stand out to the point that people are they're going to bring out those JC fans, they're going to bring out those Mona fans to come and watch games? And even people who don't even support the team any at all.
It's kind of difficult to understand answer, because if you look at the level of the past players like the Whisper and so forth, it's their level. I don't think so. For me.
Okay, well, the result lies in my hands as usual. And this week, the winner is, drum roll please, Giovanni. Now, let me give my reason. Now, star player, the question asks, is there any star player this season? The question didn't ask, is there any star player this season or stars like the previous seasons, right? And I do think that there are players who have and are showing their quality this season, with the likes of Orion Watson, Sean Layton, Whisper and Kaim.
Different level.
They had years, well, I wouldn't say Whisper, but Kaim got time to show his star quality.
Because Kaim scored in the game where KC beat.
Yes, right. And these are athletes that were also personalities. They weren't just footballers, right? So probably because we aren't seeing the charismatic actions from a Sean Layton or a Oreen, that's why we aren't talking about them. But we do have stars in the schoolboy football season, and it's just a matter of time for them to also probably express themselves. The competition also isn't the same now than it was then. So there's a lot of factors, and it's time for a break. And when we return, yes, you guys can shake hands. And when we return, it's the Powerade Team Talk. Stick and stay.
Team, we need to pass the ball quicker. Much quicker. And you need to make sure. I'm the coach. And I'm the assistant coach. No. Your job is to bring the water and keep us hydrated. Matter of fact, where's the water? Ed, I've got it, coach.
Monster Milk Mega Winnings Promotion. With me, you will lead for prizes in the Monster Milk Mega Winnings Promotion. Buy any 3 boxes of Monster Milk and WhatsApp your receipt along with your name, address, phone number, and the name of the promotion to 876-352-1517. And you could be the lucky grand prize winner of a $200,000 Visa card. Or you could win 5 weekly prizes. Promotion runs September 15th to November 30, 2025. Grand draw November 4, 2025. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Made by Sepron. Must be good.
Thanks for staying with us on High School Pitchside. It's time for the Powerade Team Talk and your Powerade Hydration Tip of the Week. Powerade fuels performance. Unlike plain water, Powerade also provides carbohydrates for energy, giving your body a boost during these intense trainings and matches. Chem Hill High have been making their marks on the SBF scene, making it to the round of 16 for the second year in a row. They are dreaming of going much further, and we have more of this in this week's Powerade Team Talk.
Chem Hill's start to the round of 16 got off on a bad note, losing 4-0 to St. Elizabeth Technical. The Clarendon-based team had 2 players sent off and had an on-field protest against the referee's decisions. It eventually led to a forfeiture by the Chem Hill team, and the referee was forced to call the game off early in the 88th minute as the players refused to play. Still though, they're optimistic of having a deep run in the DaCosta Cup after making it to this stage of the tournament for a second consecutive season. High School Pitchside spoke with them before the debacle against Staths.
Last year we finished in we went to the round of 16. We don't lose a lot of players, so this year we trying to get a step further and see what we can achieve from there.
The defeat to Staths sees Chem Hill sitting at the bottom of Zone 2 with 2 games to go. But coach Keegan Mitchell says they can rebound.
We have a good crop of guys, We have a good crop of guys. It's just to put the plane on the field and just work as a team.
But despite the challenges, he's aiming for a strong finish to the season.
The crop of guys we have, we're looking to a semi-final, final, possibly. But we just have to work together. It's just the chemistry. We just have to get the boys to believe, get them to play together, and just work as a team, basically.
Established in 1974, Chem Hill is a relatively young school. They're just about making their mark in schoolboy football with a talented squad. The concern is whether they can prevent the top schools from recruiting their best players.
There's not much we can do, As a Chem Hill, we are not known as one of those top schools with relates to football. What we know, we just have to just hope they remain loyal and continue to work with each other.
That's it for this week, and it was definitely fun. Even though we're missing Ronaldo, who will be back next week, keep warm and safe as you brace for Tropical Storm Melissa. And see you next week when we bring you the best of schoolboy football right here on CVM TV.
High School Pitchside, brought to you by KFC, Catch, Ping Pong, Water, Powerade, True Shake, Pringles.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
It's time.
Welcome to High School Pitchside. We have another fascinating episode for you.
More matches, more big clashes.
Let's talk about some of the big rivalries coming up this week.
More of your favorite features.
And trust me, you won't fall asleep in this history class.
And of course, we always want to hear from you.
Hear from your alma mater's players and coaches in Team Talk.
You know we can't leave you out. So send us your messages on social media and watch us react on FanView.
And you know we love a good little debate, right, Gio? We've got you covered all season long on High School Pitchside.
High School Pitchside, your ultimate guide to all things schoolboy football, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.